Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad you're here because today we're talking about a rebuild. Yes, you heard me say it right. I've been telling you for a long time that this management group did not get hired to rebuild this team. Okay, they did not get hired to rebuild this team. They have no intention of rebuilding this team, but maybe things have changed. Things have changed. So the Canucks fans are using the word rebuild, the rebuild word, but Canucks President Jim Rutherford will not use the rebuild word. And I'll share with you what it's about. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what a full rebuild would be, what a partial rebuild would be, and really not caring now what Jim Rutherford's saying, because it doesn't matter what word you use. Let's talk about the definition of what he's saying and go from there. So just a reminder, if you have not seen this, you can check out On the Province, okay? So Patrick Johnson, who does tons of Canucks content, wrote this article today, November 25th, 2025, 5 hours ago was last updated. It says, time to trade. Jim Rutherford says Canucks need to get younger. Okay? So you're like, well, Trev, he's just talking about they need to get younger. That's it, right? So why is this a big deal? Okay? And so this is what Jim Rutherford said in this interview, okay? He says, use whatever word people like, whether it's somewhat of a rebuild. This is the first time we've heard him been talking about that. Not a full-blown rebuild, but a rebuild / retool, whatever. It's the position we've been since the JT Miller trade. Say what? JT Miller? Woo! Okay. Let's get back into it. I just needed a moment there to remind myself that I miss JT. Okay. So what would you call it? So post in the comments by his comments, because he said we need to get younger. Guess what, Jim? Getting younger. Every team in the league wants to get younger, but that's what a rebuild is. We're gonna get younger and get better. And I think we got to just start using that word. The problem is rebuilds take a long time. I think the quickest rebuilds could be like 5 years, 6 years. Like if we did a full tear it down to the studs. By the way, Calgary Flames have talked and said they do not want to use the word rebuild either. Okay? They don't want to use the word rebuild either. They don't want to tear it to the ground. The Calgary Flames are the dumbest franchise. They have a terrible team. They're last place, and it's like, hey, let's go win some games. Get McKenna. That's what they need to do. So maybe the Canucks replace the Flames and the Predators and go try to get McKenna or Verhoff, and that's what I'm talking about right now. Like, if we want to get younger, it also can start right now, and Team Tank can start. Tank for McKenna, right? That can happen right now. That could take place right now. In fact, I want to show you an image that I've made, and it's just coming up right here. If we're going to go all in on a rebuild, let's just tank for McKenna right now. Let's do it. He looks good in a Canucks uniform. We're going to burn it to the ground. And we're gonna tank. Like, if we lose Quinn Hughes, you might as well just burn it to the ground and restart, right? And that's what a lot of Canuck fans are wanting. Let's do a full rebuild, okay? But what Rutherford is actually saying, and you need to read it properly, he's wanting a partial rebuild. They have said that they're not interested in trading Quinn Hughes, that they want to re-sign Quinn Hughes. That is the right thing to do, right thing to say. But if he's going to walk, we know you got to trade him. I don't want him to walk. I love watching him play. But are we team tank? Or are we partial rebuild? Maybe it doesn't matter at all what Jim Rutherford says at all, because maybe it, even if we try to do a partial rebuild, we're going to do a massive rebuild. For example, Lankinen is now hurt. So you got Demko hurt, Lankinen hurt. No, sorry, not Lankinen hurt. My apologies. Out for personal reasons, not going on the California road trip. You know it's bad when you've got a road trip to California. You're like, I'm going to stay home. Now, I don't know what it is. Is it an injury? Is it mental health? Did something happen in the family? I don't know. All I know is our two starting goaltenders, or two goaltenders, Tolopilo and Patera. And I'm just telling you, neither one are NHL ready. Now I'm excited to see Tolopilo. Can't wait to see what he does. But this is not good. We go on this trip. We are going to play Anaheim on Wednesday night, Friday afternoon. My apologies. Friday afternoon, Black Friday, San Jose at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada. That's what we're doing. And we're not bringing Lankinen. We're not bringing Lankinen, who's getting paid $4.5 million. We're not bringing Demko because he's hurt. That's what's happening. I don't see this team winning any of those games. And I don't want to over-exaggerate or be doom and gloom, but come on now. So I do want to continue to talk about this. I'm going to get into your comments in just a second, okay? But they said that they're willing to trade their UFAs, okay? They're older UFAs. Now, every team wants to do that. Nothing that he said today in that interview was anything shocking, to be honest with you. Like, everyone's looking to get younger, and everyone's looking to trade expiring UFAs that they don't think are going to continue with them. Okay? That is the thing. But Canucks fans want us to use the word rebuild, and he will not. Is he in denial? What's going on with Rutherford? Okay? Maybe Canuck fans are in denial. Like, a rebuild takes the minimum probably 5-6 years. It can last like 12 years. It's bad for business because people don't want to watch that. Now, somebody says, I'd rather put my money towards it. No, you wouldn't. I know tons of people that will not go to games, will sell their tickets, will try to get anything out of it, right? They're going to lose money on their tickets. Having a team that's competitive or trying to be competitive is the team that people want to watch. If you lose Hughes and you get rid of the big name players that people love going there to watch, like, for example, Sherwood, Garland, Besser, you name them, right? Then people aren't going to want to watch. And that's just a fact. Now you say, well, it's for the better good. I know, but to be honest with you, I'm not interested in a 6-year rebuild or a 12-year rebuild or anywhere in between. I want to get this team back on the road. And you said, well, yeah, I know. I mean, when JT Miller left, and I still have very mixed opinions on why he left, okay? But that was not in the plan. Now, if you think about last season, we struggled with so many injuries, and I think it was not the rift, but it was the injuries that really hurt us. And the rift impacted, I'll be honest, the rift impacted Pettersson's play. It impacted the team for sure, okay? But in saying that, everyone, we're at that stage where this season we had the most injuries at that one time. I think we had 9 players out, and we're at what, game 23, 24, 25, whatever we're at. I think we're at game 23. who've had the most injuries. So what were they supposed to do? And JT had a no movement clause, so he chose wherever they were going to go. Okay, just a friendly reminder. That's what happens when, and you say, oh, that JT Miller guy. No. The Canucks management gave him the no movement clause, and he could pick wherever he wanted to go. And he said, I want to go to New York. And then we made the decision to pull the trigger and get Heel, who was already injury prone, who has serious injury concerns, and then he's gotten injured. But here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem. So going into the season, the plan was Pettersson, number 1C, Hedl, number 2C, Bluger, number 3C, and probably Ratu as the 4th C, okay? So that's what we're doing down center. And is that a deep one? No. But then Hedl gets injured. Pettersson struggles to start the year. Bluger gets injured. So now you've got Ratu. You traded for Kemp. You traded for Reichel to play the middle of the lineup. And this is what you got down the middle now and then Sasson or Max Sasson, whichever way you want to say it. He's now been brought up to be playing in those roles. And this is why we're so weak down the middle. The good news about the center position is at least Pettersson has picked it up. And I would say he's even bounced back. I know it's bold. I said a couple videos ago. Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. Okay. That's what's happened this season. So 2 years of major injuries. And we had signed Demko to an extension, 3-year extension, and he gets hurt. Seriously. So what more? Like, people want to fire everyone, okay? And I've been tempted to say this too, but like, fire Rutherford, fire Alvin, fire or trade Hughes, trade everyone is what they're saying. Let's just burn it down to the ground, tank for McKenna, and let's do it the right way, right? Who knows how long that will take, but I mean, maybe that's the only choice that they have. And look at what Jim Rutherford said. This isn't about just looking at trading everybody. There are a number of veterans who have played very well. So this isn't about clumping everyone together. He says it's more about accelerating the obvious moves that can be made 2 months down the road. And what we know about Rutherford is he does not wait till the trade deadline to make moves. That's why they're on the phones now. That's why they sent the memo to all the GMs saying that they're willing to move veteran UFAs. So who are those people? He's not going to trade everyone. He's not going to trade everyone. Okay? And they've said, we do not want to trade Hughes. And I don't blame him. He could arguably be the best player this franchise has ever seen. But we know he's the best defenseman we've ever seen. And these guys don't grow on trees. It's taken 35 years for us to have a great defenseman like this. Like, maybe more than that, right? More than that, 50 years. He's their best defenseman, right? So, in my opinion, this is what it means. Okay, I'm gonna just say this. I believe that the Canucks management will trade these 3 players before the trade deadline, and I would say all 3 of them. I think Evander Kane, Kiefer Sherwood, and Jake DeBrusk are all going to be traded. That is my personal opinion. I do not want to move Kiefer Sherwood. Love the guy, but I don't think JR and PA, so Rutherford and Alvin, want to pay him. And so they're going to, and that these 3 guys, I believe, have value, not great value, but have value and could get some players, young players or prospects or draft picks. But if we're going to trade Quinn Hughes, I mean, we better expect a haul. But I'm hoping that we keep him. But I think most Canuck fans are just at the stage there that we're going to trade him. There also could be some guys traded with term. Maybe it's Tyler Myers, who still has another year on his. Maybe it's Connor Garland, which our fan base would not be excited about, right? So I got a little white thing on there. Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, if we're going to talk about it all, we might as well talk about it all. By the way, if you guys don't want one of these nice Kempner Canuck hats, please send me an email. There's my email right here. That would be great. Yeah. So I just have a couple of them left, and if you want one, please email me. Sorry, I was just reading an email. I just got an update. I just sold a couple more. So if you want, I have no more white ones. The white one just got sold, and black ones got sold. So I just have these black ones left. Let me know if you want one. So great, pumped. Okay, so let's dive into your comments about this. I've been talking for 17 minutes here, and let's get into it. I'm going to hit the promo, and then we're going to dive into it. So glad that you're here. I can't wait to hear from you. Jeremiah is the first guy here, says, hey guys. And then Lyndon, he says, implode the team. Marcus is here. Let's just get into the comments. Rebuild is very unlikely with Aquilini as owner. I agree with that statement. Mark says, wow, the news and rumors are coming fast. Kelly's in the building. Coach Rob's in the building. Kelly says, Hronek and Hughes not on the trade block, but everyone else is tradable. I think everyone's tradable, but whether they'll do it or not is another story. Right now, it looks like they're just looking to move UFA guys. But if of course, every team, every GM, every manager of hockey operations, if the right deal came the way, you got to do it, right? Some people are talking about Alvin being gone too. I don't know if that's true, because I think Rutherford loves working with Alvin, so I don't know how you do that. And then I just think Alvin or Rutherford would just step down personally. But Rutherford has lost his marbles. Vinny says a lot of people are wondering about that. Marcus Pettersson to Detroit for who in return? I think that as long as it's Alvin and Rutherford who brought him in, and it's the Pittsburgh combination, I don't think Marcus Pettersson's going anywhere. I would be open to him being traded, but depending on what we get in return, of course. Jazz Chen says Rutherford is focusing on UFAs. Bluger and Forbert won't go for much. Both of them are hurt right now. I think Forbert's hurt for a long time. Sherwood is very valuable, and Kane fits a niche. I think the Oilers really are really open to bringing Kane back. I know their fan base is. The big question is, will we trade Hughes, or are you staying? I want him to stay as well. Line changes here. Jack is in the building. I just think they won't say rebuild because of Hughes. It's definitely a rebuild. Canucks should and will cash in, blow it up, and get 10 firsts in the next 3 drafts. That could be a possibility if Hughes goes. If Hughes stays, we're just doing a partial. McKenna might not go number 1. That's true. So if we're going to tank for him, David W wants to talk about the NBA and the rebuilding. Okay. So I think it's different, David, than the NHL. So partial rebuild sounds like not tanking. Yep, that's exactly what it sounds like to me. What kind of pick would the Canucks get for Baines? He's been a healthy scratch. I think at best a 4th rounder, probably a 5th. So Dell says Quinn Hughes told Rutherford he's not resigning. That's why veterans are now available. Possible. Very possible. Okay. Jack says, depends on what we get, but if we rebuild properly and sell our team in 5 years, we'll be on track for a cup. Quinn, EP40, Besser, Demko, and DeBrusk have good trade value. Never mind the inflated death guys. It's fair. It's fair. I mean, I would love to do another video on trading EP40. I just don't see them doing it, everyone. You would have no idea how, depending on return, how excited if we got good return for Pettersson, I'd just do that. What if Tolopilo wins a couple of games on? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You see third liners go for first now. Well, that would be ideal. It would be ideal. What is Hughes worth? 3 firsts? A friend suggested Nemec, Mercer, and 2 firsts, which is not bad. Okay. I wish we could get Brad. Okay. This is the one I keep saying too. Okay. It looks good on that. Nemec and Mercer are fine. Okay. I'm happy with those two. Not thrilled. I want Heischer. I know they're not going to trade Heischer, but obviously they're not trading Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes. Okay. But the 2 firsts right now, New Jersey is what? Let's just go NHL.com standings. And we're talking in the league, in the entire league. Okay. League. They are 5th in the league. So what it means is we get a late first this year, and it will be a late first next year. So those don't matter. Those don't move the needle. Those first round picks don't matter. You want to give him to someone else who will have better, like these. You'd rather a prospect than a late first round pick. Guys, it's such a crapshoot after the first 20 picks. Like when you're talking 27 to 30, 32 teams, is that what it is now? 32 teams. When you got 27 to 32, who cares? Those guys usually don't really pan out. So I don't know. Yeah, Lankin is just helping Team Tank, no problem. He's with the program. I would move Hughes, EP40, and Demko, but I could see us keeping Besser and DeBrusk. I don't see them moving all those guys, but is Jim Rutherford getting traded? Nope, he's not. He might get fired, but he's not. It might be more. It might be more. Rutherford raising the white flag. Trumpet is playing. Rick is saying trying to be competitive like this season's team. Oh, I know. I know it makes people laugh. I get it. But that's exactly what they tried to do this season. And then ran into a number of injuries again. Like Höglander, Forbert, Bluger, Hedel. Hughes was injured for a couple games. You know what I mean? You just start going down the list, and it's insane. So yes, you can laugh, and I understand why you're laughing. I get it, but that's acceptable though if Nemec and Mercer, but probably need more than that. Yeah. Should we ask for three firsts or prospects and players? Well, I mean, if a team will give you that, you got to remember if we trade him now, it doesn't have to be New Jersey. Yep, that's right. It can be 2 years with someone else. And David W's right. Rebuilds are an absolute last resort, but we're like at the bottom, near the bottom. That said, a departure of Quinn Hughes would be huge and may very well force the Canucks to rebuild, not merely retool. I've seen this one many times, so we'll see. Blake Price suggested that we would get Josh Norris to keep Hughes here, but I don't think that's enough. That was last year. They tried to, and they couldn't get him. So Lankinen took a leave of absence for personal reasons. We have 2 third-string goalies for our road trip. I know, Martin. That's what I was talking about. It's crazy. I like ASP, Casper, Bear, and 2027, 2028 from first round from really. So that's sending Pelka, Casper, Bear, and Jack. I'll have to look into that a little more. Question is, who wants to play for the injury-prone Canucks? Good question. First round picks from New Jersey would suck. We would be picking late. Yep, in each first round. I agree. I did laugh, but I also like the idea of Hughes for Bedard. Oh, I do that. But I would much rather a quick 2 to 3 turnaround if a contender can be built. Don't mind watching them lose a few seasons since we've already been doing that in the last decade with the exceptions of the last 1.5 years. Gerald, I hear what you're saying. I think that's the optimal 2 to 3 years. I just don't know if that's possible anymore. But yes, I think that's ideal. Hughes will be gone, but to be honest, it's a blessing in disguise. Wow, we aren't winning the cup anyway, so it's like cashing in on $1 million in Bitcoin. We might get a Gretzky in return if we do it now. We might. We also might get a Daigle, or Alexander Dag. Sorry, Daigle. Alexander Dag, like you, or Yakupov, right? So it's just hard. You'll never replace Hughes for what he's worth. And I think if you want to turn this team around faster, you keep Hughes. Okay. Even if the Canucks were winning, I would try to cap dump Hedel and Höglander. How do you cap dump injured players? Nobody wants them. Gretzky went for 3 firsts and some roster players. No one great. Hughes for 3 firsts is not bad. Depends what they are. Blessing in disguise. Okay. It's time to rebuild, Elfrin says. Okay. I think most Canuck fans are saying that. We'll never get a defenseman like Hughes ever again. Yeah. And the idea that we'll get a Gretzky, pretty slim. The more assets we collect, the faster we build. That's true. I do agree with that. Possibly faster build. Someone did the numbers. The Canucks need 39 wins to make the playoffs. 39 wins in 60 games. We got this. You're saying there's a chance. No. How is Columbus doing? We could ask for, Wynorski. Yeah, but they wouldn't want that. Maybe Fantil. I like that. I don't think they would do it. We may never get another Hughes, but we can get a very good trade in return. We could. Yeah. It'd be hilarious if Seattle won the cup before the Canucks. I don't think that's funny. I don't think that's funny. That's sad. Maybe DuPont will be better. New age defensemen are like Quinn's. Like Quinn is very possible. Like Hudson, it's great, right? Rod's here. Rebuild requires upper management to be fired. I agree with that statement. I agree with your proposal. Move Sherwood, Kane, and DeBrusk. I think that's who's getting traded. That's not what I'm proposing. I actually believe those are the 3 guys who are going to get traded. But I don't think you can move Hedel and Höglander because of their injuries. Pettersson, could you imagine if we traded EP40? That would be wild, right? I want Brock to stay and Quinn to stay because you have a Quinn Hughes jersey. Yeah, right there, man. Hughes told Tocchet he wasn't going to sign long-term. Nope, he is not. That's why Tocchet left. So that's what he's saying. That's what people are saying. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that's what people are saying. Should have kept that first and never traded for Marcus. That's what I agree with right there. I wish we never did that. Now, I'm not saying Marcus Pettersson is a bad defenseman. I just don't think he was worth a first-round pick. He said the same thing last night. Okay. Disturbed. Good to see you. The rumor is Sherwood wants 6 times $5 million. Okay. That's just too much, unfortunately. Maybe, unless he keeps playing the way he is, I think you would get us a first at deadline if he keeps scoring. I don't think we're getting a first for Sherwood. I think a second at most and maybe a third. Is there any way to convince Hughes to stay by offering him 18 to 20? I do think offering him a ridiculous amount of money would help. Shannon is in the building. Good to see you. The Chaos Giraffe ain't going anywhere. He wants to stay in Vancouver. I get it. Sherwood for our 2026 first would be a good return. I would do it. Of course. But I don't think anyone's offering us that. The question is if Aquilini is patient and smart enough for a rebuild, we could easily get enough assets if we blow up the team. I have a feeling he gets impatient. though, would screw up a rebuild. I don't think he's interested in doing a rebuild at all. So Hughes told that to talk it. So Quinn Hughes is just playing for the Canucks out of pity now. That's very, I mean, that's, if that's true, it's possible. I don't have that one on my computer right now, Shannon. So, but I'm glad you bought a Kempner Canucks ad. Our defense has been relatively uninjured. So why are we giving up so many goals? That's a great question. And that's going to be another video for another day. I know, close to worse than the league. So Gerald says, management will be forced to re-sign him if the market isn't willing to give up a first. Sherwood at most would be a high third line winger on a contender, but he's got an impact, right? Alvin wasn't hired to rebuild. I don't think he's the guy to start a rebuild. I agree. How's Kempf doing? He's fine, but I don't think he's good. I don't think like he's a fourth line center who's now playing second line center, and he's just out of his element, in my opinion. He's fine, but he's not great. Sherwood will get a first. 1.5 million cap is too tempting. Teams love that guy. Andrews in the building. Been a while. Been a minute, buddy. Sell everyone but the young guns. By the way, that I'll get into this in a second. But this is really important. I need to pause for a moment. We are already rebuilding. It's called keeping our young guys. We could have traded them a million times this weekend, or this offseason, I mean, and last year before the deadline, but we kept them, and they're trying to build on those guys. So sell everyone but the young guns. Keep Woodsy's strap on the C on him and build around that is what I'll say very soon if things don't change. Okay. Kane, won't. Second or third for Kane. Oh, well, we gave up a fourth for Kane. So I would think we could give him away for a fourth. Kelly says, got to rebuild like the Sharks did, but don't believe the Canucks have a Celebrini type player to rebuild around. That's true. Baines won't get anything. Maybe I'd say a fifth. Quan, now, if you're Quinn Hughes, would you want to stay long-term? Maybe he loves Vancouver. Maybe he loves being the captain. Maybe he wants to get paid $15, $16, $17, $18 million a year. Is his prime being wasted? Possibly. If Quinn is gone, EP will be too. I don't think he will. He's making crazy amounts of money, right? Hey, Jackie, good to see you. EP40 to the Canes, and he wins Selke. Great. Go win a Selke with the Canes. What do we get in return? I'm open to hearing that. I spun the tankathon wheel 17 times, and I finally got first overall pick. So, yeah, we're going to go backwards. I'm going to do one of those one of these days. Management have no idea what a good trade is. What a good trade is. Okay. Jack says, you know what? I think they know it. I just don't think that other teams are playing nice. Why would they? We do not have the leverage in these deals, unless it's Quinn Hughes. EP40's trade value is hard to predict, though. If he keeps up what he's doing, it'll be real high. But if he goes back to ghost mode, it will drop dramatically. I agree. Kempner, the draft is deep this year. At least 20-plus players could hit. Maybe. But if we're getting players post 20, then that's what we'll be getting. That's what I'm saying. So that's great that 20 players could hit. That's a great draft year. Like, that's one of the best draft years of all time if 20 plus hit, right? Because that never happens. EP40 is a ticking time bomb. Okay. Ghost at any time. If you look at her record last year and this year, it's like night and day. Sean says, I'm not at all excited for this. If Quinn goes to New Jersey, I'm tuning out on this team for a while. We had some bad injury luck, and we're still in the playoff hunt, but everyone wants to tear it down to the studs. I know. Fan base is getting wild, Sean. I'm not at the tear down to the studs. Shannon says, I do not know who to trade and pick. Coach Rob and I need to come for a hockey school day for me, and that means you're the teacher. Well, yeah, I'll try my best, but I appreciate you. No rebuild, Dreamer says. 39 wins, so you're saying there's a chance. That's right. So Jack's saying Sandin Pelika is a 20-year-old right-handed first rounder. We could have drafted him already. We didn't. We drafted Willander instead. Casper is a 20-year-old center, 8th overall in 2022, and Bear is another first-round pick from last year. Yeah, those are solid. Those are the prospect deals, right? Willander may be a stud. I mean, he's already playing, and he's not supposed to be playing this year. So Pub Stomper says, hey, I'm a Sense fan, and I think if we traded Greg for Sherwood, and Reichel pending a sign and trade, what do you think? I'm kind of confused what you're saying there. If you could repost that, that'd be great. No point in doing three first. Has to be a roster player, a prospect. Yeah, I like the prospect idea too with the draft picks. Olivia says, I think the problem is a lot of the young players we'd want for Hughes are on rebuilding teams and they won't part with them. I agree. Hey, everyone. Shannon tells you to smash the like and subscribe. Would you take a moment to do that? Also, just a reminder, everyone, that it's free to do. It doesn't cost you a dime to hit the like and subscribe. So please take a moment. David says, I hate the Flames as much as you, RevTrev, but they are positioned better than us. They are? I don't think they are. I think we're better still, but we lost. So it was 1-1, right? We can get roster players in other trades. We can really do whatever. Yeah, I mean, the Hughes one, you can get a lot of picks. So 56, Belair. The problem with EP40 is toughness, both physically and mentally. His game has improved as a bright spot. Absolutely. Look at my trade, Greg, for Reichel and Sherwood. Greg, it's a fair trade. I don't even know who Greg is. Let's look at this. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Okay. Is it? Am I spelling it wrong? Where are we here? E-R-E. Oh, I went the wrong. I said I. Greg. Ridley Gregg. Okay, so he plays for Ottawa. He's a first round 28th overall selection. He is a center who shoots left. He's 6 foot, 184 pounds. He's had, in his career, he's played 189 NHL games. He has 77 points in 189 games. He's had 30 goals in his number of years, which is 4 years in the NHL. He's got 30 goals. Maybe he's good. Trading a first-round pick for EP40 appears to be of an overpay. Absolutely. That said, Elving and Rutherford have also been fond of trading for Penguins, even in their days. Yes, you're right. Mark, if the Flames don't rebuild, are they the dumbest team in the league? The answer is yes. They need to rebuild. MP3 can be flipped if we're rebuilding. Could get those assets back when it comes down to Quinn and Akolini. Pub Stomper says, as a Sens fan. Okay. Greg for Sherwood and Reichel is a great trade. Okay. And Greg is still RFA after this contract. Okay. That's possible. It's possible. Sorry. As a Sens fan, I get it. Not a Sens fan. Seriously, technically it was JT Miller for PD, DOC, Hedel, and Mancini. The first was also Pens would take Heinonen and Desharnais off the books. It was a good trade. It was an okay trade. I wouldn't say it's a good one. Canucks would haul a second round if Canucks retain. Yep. Which is fine because it's only this year. He's only got this year. Should we get a new coach for the Vancouver Canucks? That's also on the table. Could be there. Manny Malhotra, right? Rutherford going to retire if Hughes leaves. I would if I was him. Kraken's short retool now top in the standing 4 years. Retool looks okay. I mean, they still aren't a contender. They're just having a good start, in my opinion. They're not going to win the Stanley Cup anytime soon. 102 people here, everyone. What happened with Lankinen? He's not going on the California road trip due to personal reasons. So there was talk today that our second line center would come from in-house. Apparently Brock Besser played center before and said he would do it if he had to. Wow. Didn't see that one. Do not retain on Kane. Hard no. I mean, we can. This season's lost. Hughes just posted today he likes driving his car around Vancouver. Interesting. Hughes to Philly, please. That's a possibility. Get Michkov back. That might be okay. Smart deal can be reinvigorate the team. Would help much like we hoped Hedel was hoping for. I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. I'm saying we trade you guys, Ridley, Greg, who is an RFA. Yes, I understand. Yep. I need to do more research on that before I'm open to that. DeBrus trade for Lambert from Jets. It's fair. Bing Tang Warrior is using member for 10 months. Believe in Blue. Canucks win. Remember the 2019 Blues that were last place and won the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't that be awesome? Regarding Marcus Pettersson, we need to shore up our D last year. The problem is this year we are in the forward core partly due to injuries, and Lank is not up to snuff this year. True, there's a lot of problems in Vancouver. Sherwood might get you a nice return, but you don't have to replace that player. To me, he's the only one I wouldn't trade along with Hughes. Who do I want to trade? Who do I want to trade? That's a great question. I would be open depending on what you can get in return for EP40. I would definitely be open to that depending what you get. But if you don't get good return, you can't trade them. I'm open to trading DeBrusque. I'm almost open to trading anyway. The guys I don't want to trade right now is Hughes and Sherwood and the young guys. I'm open to everyone else. Like, honestly, depending on what we get. Connor's going to hear whatever anyone says. Laviolette and DeBar were more than available as top coaching opportunities. They made bad teams look so. Yeah, exactly. Why didn't we go get them? Oh, because we signed Foot too early. That's why. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But they signed him too early, and then Dallas let him go. I would have signed him in a heartbeat. If Kevin is away, who would play for Vancouver Canucks tomorrow? We should pick up Nick Cousins. Okay. Yeah, I think it's Tolo Pilo tomorrow, so I hope so. Connor Hellebuck among goalies under contract. Canadian NHL teams has had such an incredible sentiment. The Jets before this season, but to be honest, no, it's about 2 goalies at the NHL level, right? I know, it's wild. Who knows? Okay, you know what, everyone? Thanks so much for coming out tonight. I need to shut it down. I got work tomorrow, and so do you, or school, whatever you're doing. It's just an interesting conversation. Rutherford's not using the word rebuild, but everyone else is. But he's saying it's not going to be a full-blown rebuild. So that's just a fact. That's what he's saying. So thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight. I appreciate you. Got to run. We'll be on this week. So stay tuned. Tomorrow night is the Anaheim game. We'll see what happens tomorrow night, everyone. See who's in net, see how we play, how we respond to this New news? Are we just going to fold, or are we going to play good tomorrow? We're about to find out. I have no idea what's going to happen. My guess is that we're going to lose tomorrow, but we'll see. Have a great night, and go Canucks go.